ConceptVideoSports.com presents Northwest Indiana High School girls basketball. This evening from Kakakee Valley High School in Wheatfield, Indiana, it's the Kakakee Valley Lady Cougars playing host to the Hobart Lady Brickies. This game is made possible by the fine people at Oak Partners Wealth and Retirement Management in Crown Point and Valparaiso, Blythe's Athletics in Valparaiso and Griffith, the Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio Regional Council of Carpenters and Millwrights, and Dr. Mullally and the Indiana Sports and Medical Science Institute in Crown Point. This evening, two of the elite programs in the region, the Kakakee Valley Lady Cougars led by head coach Ron Myers, who has his squad of underclassmen playing well early in the season, winning 6 and losing 2, one of those a conference loss. The Lady Cougars last played on December 4th, defeating Hanover Central by 8. The Hobart Brickies, who also started the year off strong, came into the game with an identical 6-2 record, 2-0 in NCC play, losing their last 2 before bouncing back a week ago against Munster. Mike Hamaker's Brickies are also primarily underclassmen, with only 2 seniors on the roster. 2 identical teams, the Kakakee Valley Lady Cougars and the Hobart Lady Brickies. But first, a few words from each of tonight's coaches.
All right, before tonight's game between Hobart and Kakakee Valley, I have Coach Ryan Myers with me from the Kakakee Valley Lady Cougars. Coach, you're coming off of a big win the other night over a good Hanover Central team. You shut down them pretty well, especially Blair Poston, one of their star players.
Total team effort. I mean, some of the credit goes to our defense. We played pretty well. We tried to just make sure, we switched to a lot of screens and try not to give anything wide open from the outside. And a couple times we had a few breakdowns, but I thought our kids did a pretty good job following a game plan. And then some of it was Blair just had a rough night of shooting, and so some of it was that too. But we're happy that we could come out with a big win as a sectional opponent on their floor. So it was a lot of confidence for us.
Now you won 6 of your last 7, but you got a good team tonight in the Hobart Lady Brickies, a conference foe. Both teams have identical records of 6-2. What's your plan tonight? Are you going to do some more defense like you did against Blair Poston?
We hope so, yeah. These are 2 teams that are very evenly matched. Both teams are junior dominated. Both of us do a lot of the same things. It's almost scary how close these 2 teams are. So we figure this one's going to be a close game, and we're just hoping we make some plays. Our defense has to play well. They got some big girls inside that really concerns us. We have to make sure we stay out of foul trouble. And then, and if Hobart pressures the ball really good and play great defense. So we're going to have to be able to handle that pressure. And if we do that, we'll have a shot to win, but we have to play really well.
Like you said, both teams are dominated by underclassmen. You guys don't even have a senior on your team, and they have mostly juniors and sophomores. So these girls are going to be seeing a lot of each other, I think, in the next couple of years. Makes for some good games coming up. It
does. Last year up there at their place, we had a lead late, and then they ended up winning on a last-second shot. It was a great shot, and so yeah, these 2 teams, they know each other. We see each other a little bit in the summertime and play, and it's usually close. So I would expect nothing different but a close game tonight.
All right, that's Coach Ryan Myers from the Kakakee Valley Lady Cougars. Good luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you.
I have with me Coach Mike Hamaker from the Lady Brickies before tonight's Northwest Crossroads Conference match between Hobart and Kakakee Valley. Coach, your last game was a week ago. You beat a Munster team, and a whole week off. Do you feel that's too far in between to have not play a game?
No, you know what? I normally you'd like to play, every 5 days or 6 days or so, and it's not good to have 7-8 days off in between games. But we played our first 8 games in 21 days. We need time to get better. We need time to get healthy and just to improve on our game. When things go bad and you have a big stretch of games like that, you don't have any time to improve. And I think we need it. I think it's helped us out a lot, to be honest with you.
Munster started out a quick lead in that game. It had you down early, but your girls steadily fought back and overtook them in the second half, and it was all Hobart Lady Brickies in that second half. What did you do differently in that second half?
Nothing really. I just think that they were hitting a bunch of shots early in the game, and they were able to penetrate on us, and I think we just did a better job guarding the ball and not letting them get so deep on their penetration, and some of the shots that they were hitting in the first few minutes, they weren't hitting later in the game. So nothing really. It just kept playing.
What do you expect tonight from KV?
I expect a good opponent. They're solid. They have a good post presence in Ruskin. They have a great point guard in Lauren Stokes, and they have a good surrounding cast with Jansma and Norberg and that Toppin, a nice freshman, and some good role players off the bench. They're a good opponent. They're a really good team, and that junior class of theirs is kind of the backbone of that team. And I think now you're starting to see them really come on and start to take the bull by the horns, and you're seeing them develop into the team that I know Coach Myers was hoping they would. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think that this is the upper echelon of the conference, and you'll see kind of a heavyweight fight tonight, hopefully.
The Lady Brickies won the tip to open this NCC game with Autumn Beal driving the lane and a shot that was off the mark. But right there with the early offensive board was Caitlin Leith with a putback and a foul, and she'll head to the line where she made one of two. Following trips up and down the court by each team with both playing well defensively, the Lady Cougars had the ball when Bethany Jansma on the right baseline fed Danielle Ruskin, and she was fouled on the shot. Then it was Hobart's Grace Roach taking her turn driving the lane and being fouled, and she'll have 2 attempts from the charity stripe. Then on the Cougars' next possession, a missed shot, a second and third offensive opportunity for KV, followed by a Hobart foul, and Madison Wireman will have her turn from the stripe. Finally, at the 5:30 mark of the first period, Kankakee Valley's Bethany Jansma drained a 3 from the right baseline, and our first field goal of the evening, and a 4-point Cougar lead. On the Brickies' next possession, Caitlin Leith beat her defender off the dribble, drove the baseline, then laid it in. With the Cougars on offense and moving the ball well, Lauren Stokes took the pass in the paint and was fouled on the shot, and she'll have a couple attempts from the stripe, where she converted on 1 of 2. Moving on with less than 4 minutes left in the first, it was Kankakee Valley with another offensive opportunity and a Madison Wireman basket. On Hobart's next offensive set, the Brickies got a second chance opportunity of their own. When off a missed 3-point attempt, Morgan Flaherty ran down the rebound, then let it fly from behind the arch to trim the KV lead to 2 and a timeout. Then off the inbound following the timeout, the Hobart defense forced a KV turnover, and the Brickies were on the run when Kara Cook drove the lane, missed the shot, but right there to clean it up was Morgan Flaherty, tying the score at 10. With 1:25 left in the quarter, the Lady Brickies had the ball, but a nice defensive steal by Lexi Eggert playing the taller Morgan Flaherty, and she got the ball quickly to Lauren Stokes, who was fouled going to the basket, where she converted on 1 of 2, giving the lead back to the Cougars. Then it was Grace Roach on a nice shot fake. Then she dribbled into the paint and dropped in a 13-footer, and the Brickies lead. With some wild play at each end of the court, Kankakee Valley's Lexi Eggert locked in on a tray to give the Cougars the lead back in the seesaw first period. Time finally ran out in the first, with the home team leading by a pair. The Brickies scored first, opening the second period at the 7-minute mark, when Grace Roach fed Zoe Wilson in the paint, and the game is tied at 14. Each team exchanged punches for a couple of minutes, but that was until Lexi Howard took the pass, then dropped in a tray from the right side. Next, for the Brickies, another long offensive rebound and a Daily Law basket. The Cougars are also doing well on the offensive boards. When off a missed shot, Ashley Norberg grabbed the rebound and was fouled on the putback, and she'll head to the line where she made 1 of 2. Leading by a point, it was the Lady Cougars on offense again. And taking the pass on the left side of the key was Lexi Howard, and she drained a 3 with the defender all over her, and a 4-point KV lead. For the Lady Bricks, a one and done, and the Cougars were on the prowl. Again, another offensive board, and KV was able to reset their offense. This time, a nice bounce pass from Lexi Howard to Lauren Stokes, who took one dribble, then dropped in a 10-footer and the largest lead of the game by either team. Trailing by 6 with 2 minutes remaining in the half, off the inbound from underneath their own basket, Autumn Beal took the pass and, being left alone, locked in on a tray to cut the KV lead in half. Next, for the Brickies, a nice defensive segment when Hobart's Grace Roach stole the pass, then saved it to Daily Law, who quickly got it to Kara Cook, and she was fouled going to the hoop. Trailing by the slimmest of margins, the Hobart Brickies had the ball out of bounds from underneath their own basket. On the inbound, Kaylin Trezak bounced the ball to Autumn Beal, and the Bricks regained the lead. That lead was short-lived, for on the next KV possession, another offensive board, a Lauren Stokes rebound, and a basket and one. Finally, a KV steal, a last-second shot, and the half is history. With the score, KV 26, Hobart 24. The second half opened with the Hobart Brickies in possession, trailing by a deuce. On their first offensive set, every player got a touch. Then a bounce pass from Caitlin Leith to Morgan Flaherty down low, and the game is tied. Then the Cougars had the ball out of bounds from under their own goal. And off the missed shot, another offensive board and put back by Danielle Ruskin, and KV is back in front. Then on this next sequence, a loose ball, a Hobart takeaway, and the Bricks were on the run. Then at the other end, Grace Roach passed it out to Daily Law, who found Morgan Flaherty in the post, and again we're tied. Next, for the Cougars, it was Danielle Ruskin blocking out, rebounding, then being fouled on the putback, and she'll head for the stripe where she dropped in 1 of 2. Again, for Hobart, another second chance opportunity when Kara Cook grabbed the bouncing ball, then finally got it into the hands of Grace Roach, and she deposited a tray. Trailing by a pair, Ashley Norberg dribbled the ball down low, then tied the game on a nice post-up move. Following a Hobart one and done, it was Cougar Lauren Stokes on a 13-footer, and KV has retaken the lead. The next points didn't come until the 2:32 mark, when again the Brickies got the ball down low to Zoe Wilson, and she laid it in, and we're tied at 33. A KV turnover on their next possession gave the ball right back to the Bricks. And on the drive to the basket, Kara Cook was fouled, and she'll head to the stripe for 2. On their next offensive set, a KV turnover, and the Bricks were on offense. But Kankakee Valley junior guard Lauren Stokes got it right back, anticipating the pass, making the steal, then scoring the basket. With under a minute left in the third and the game tied at 35, it was Zoe Wilson down low again, and this time she was fouled on the shot. Next, with the Cougars on offense, Hobart's Kaylin Trezak stole the ball, and she took it all the way to the hole and was fouled, and will head to the line. Then with 6.5 seconds left, Ashley Norberg took the Lauren Stokes pass and dropped it in. Back quickly for the Bricks, and with 1/10 of a second left, Grace Roach got off a shot and the basket, and the Brickies lead 42-37. The first points of the fourth period came on a nice takeaway by Bricky Autumn Beal, and she drove to the hoop where she was fouled. Following the Beal free throws, a Kankakee Valley timeout. After the timeout, play resumed with each team having a turnover on the next sequence. Finally, for the Cougars, freshman Brianna Toppin grabbed the loose ball, then took it to the hoop, cutting the deficit to 5. With the Cougars now pressuring three-quarter court that the Brickies were able to break, Zoe Wilson got her hands on the ball down low. But KV's Danielle Ruskin made a nice block on the shot. But before the ball went out of bounds, Wilson was able to make the save to Morgan Flaherty, and she dropped in a 13-footer. Then with 3:12 left in this one, and trailing by their largest margin of 7, Lauren Stokes lined up, then dropped in a needed 3, cutting the Bricky lead to 4. Pressuring the ball again, the Brickies were able to get it up court, and with some nice ball movement and a nice pass from Daly Law to Caitlin Leaf, Hobart was able to extend the lead. Then with under 2 minutes left, the Cougars had the ball, trailing by only 2 possessions. Then with 1:25 left, a timeout. When play resumed, a mix-up defensively for the Cougars. When Daly Law on the inbound saw Grace Roach separate herself from her defender. She was able to get her the ball on a bounce pass, and she laid it in uncontested. But calmly at the other end, it was Bethany Jansma on a 13-foot jumper. Then an intentional foul, and Grace Roach will head to the line for a one-in bonus. The bonus free throw is no good, but the Brickies were able to corral the rebound. But as Hobart moved the ball around the perimeter, Lauren Stokes made the steal, dribbled the ball to the other end where she handed off to Bethany Jansma, who locked in on a tray and a timeout on the court. Then a quick KV foul, and Roach will again be on the line. With the Cougars in possession and time running out, KV coach Ron Myers called a timeout to diagram the next play for his team. Off the inbound, it was Bethany Jansma again with another three-point opportunity. And all of a sudden, it's a one-possession game. Then Grace Roach was fouled, and she'll try to ice this one for Mike Hamaker's Hobart Brickies. Finally, time ran out in this one. It's what we expected. Two well-coached programs and two identical teams, and this one came down to the wire. The final score, Hobart 55, Kankakee Valley 50. Following the game, a few words from star of the game Grace Roach and Hobart head coach Mike Hamaker.
Okay, I have with me Grace Roach from the winning Hobart Lady Brickies, a 55-50 win. Grace, you really came down big in the stretch there, getting those free throws. You were calm and cool.
I just had a rush this whole game. I was just feeling it the whole entire game.
You came on strong. You ended up, it looks like, with 17 points, and Morgan had 11 points. You two seem to really push the offense for the Lady Brickies.
Yeah, I would say that we help a lot. It just depends on who brings the momentum, but Morgan really helps us like every game bringing it. Your
defense was strong too. You create a lot of turnovers. Coach preach a lot on being strong on defense.
Oh, extremely. Defense, he's been like preaching that as our #1 thing to do, and we've been going really hard in practice, so it really showed tonight.
Defense wins games, and I know it helps to score, but certainly aggressive defense is big.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Great game.
Thank you.
Hi, winning coach Mike Hamaker here from the Lady Brickies, 55-51, a big win again. Two strong teams here, and you guys were battling it out pretty much, pretty even for most of the game. You kind of turned around that second half. What did you tell the girls at halftime, Coach?
You know what? I just thought that they're a good team, and they made some plays in the first half, and they forced us to make some mistakes. But I thought we also made a lot of mistakes ourselves, and just turned the ball over and just played too fast. We were rushing everything like we were down 20, to start the game. Everything was just too chaotic and too fast. I told them we can play fast, but you have to play under control and not rush. And that's what I saw. We got rebounds. We wanted to put it on the ground right away instead of looking to outlet. We catch the ball and then start moving down the floor. We feel like we have to make a play right now and pick up our dribble, and just a lot of rushing, panicky type plays in the first half. And I told them that's not the way we need to play. I mean, they're not freshmen anymore. They're sophomores and they're juniors, and they need to start showing that. And I think we saw it not the entire second half, but more definitely than the first half.
Grace said you preach defense a lot, and you did create a lot of turnovers. I know there were a lot on both teams, but I think in that second half you guys were a little bit more aggressive with that defense.
Yeah, I mean, I think the girls took it upon themselves to rotate a little bit better and to move a little bit quicker with those rotations. I thought in the first quarter especially, we were trying to play a little zone against them, and our rotations were extremely slow, and we just weren't really active down in the baseline, and we had to get out of that. And start running some things that call for the girls to be more aggressive and try to bring that up a little bit. Sometimes when you run a passive zone, the kids become passive, and I thought that we needed to get out of that. Not because the defense isn't good, but because I thought our mentality was too passive on the defensive end.
I didn't get a final count on your free throws, but you guys did make your girls made a lot of free throws today, and that certainly helped win the game. Especially Grace, there in the last minute or two, she sunk those free throws with all the noise and everything. She seemed to not letting that bother her.
And she's a clutch player, and I mean she's a junior now. She's really coming into her own, and the more time she's in positions like that, the better off she's going to be, and the better off we're going to be. And I've seen her hit those time and time again, but in the summer leagues and in games that don't mean a whole lot, but you get in a conference game like this with a hostile environment and on the road and a loud crowd, and it takes guts, and it takes cold ice in your veins, and she's starting to learn that a little bit. And I saw she wasn't really rattled there at the end, and that shows some maturity.
Winning a conference game here early on is certainly big, especially against a good team like KV.
Oh, absolutely. And like I told the girls, we're not the Dumoulin. We don't play everybody twice. So, there are 6 conference games on our schedule, and every one of them is like a championship game. You have to win them all. And our last game is against Lowell, and we're not going to take Andrean or take Highland for granted, but we're hoping that we can take care of business and end up in the conference championship against Lowell. But again, you have to win every single game to win this conference. There's no question.